Welcome to the Barbershop Show. I'm your host, Matt Horner.
Is it the Barbershop Show?
Barbershop Show. Marriage.
This is the BSS.
The BS Show, where all BS is just straight S.
I don't even know what that means, but it's funny.
Bullshit is just shit.
Oh, come on. You didn't have to explain it. I was just joking.
Yeah. Well, you know, you were homeschooled.
I was public schooled.
You fooled me.
Dork.
Because you wear, like, weird stuff, like axes.
What do you... I can't be public school and like a good axe?
I don't know.
This is the Barbershop Show where we talk about BS.
Can we start over?
No, we're rolling.
We're rolling. All right. Well, man, I'm kind of down in the dumps, Keith.
You look down in the dumps.
Mm-hmm. I had a whole wad of cash Friday after the barbershop.
Nice.
Yeah. Back to school haircuts. They were coming in, man.
Flooding in.
I mean, money was rich. But then, you know what? I had kids. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Choices were made.
Choices were made. Good. But yet sacrificing is required. And I had to spend that money on back to school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, like, ain't it funny when you hit a good lick, sometimes it's just like, yes. And you start immediately daydreaming like, oh, I'm going to do this to my truck.
Buy? Yeah.
I'm going to get a four-wheeler.
What would you do to your truck? Because you just got a new truck.
Yeah, I don't
newer.
Yeah, I don't got a grill guard, a ranch hand or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had I've hit 2 deer recently.
Okay.
You know.
So that's a real reasonable thing.
Yeah. So I want to get one for my wife and her car.
You can almost put that under the maintenance category in the budget of like oil change.
That's what I'm thinking.
What about the rear? Do you like the rear ones too?
I like those too.
The steel rear ones?
Yeah, because basically if I'm driving, buckle up. Like the majority of my wrecks have been like backing up wrecks. Like into trees, 2 of them. One of them's my wife's car. When we were dating. You want to hear a funny story about that?
I do.
So, you know, I'm dating my wife. We're going to go to Subway. We jump in my 4Runner at the time. Toyota 4Runner.
That's the same one you got stuck in the bottom of that creek.
And I throw it in reverse. And, of course, you know, madly in love, chit-chatting, you know, probably, you know, a little grab ass and going around or something. And I'm not paying attention. And she has a Honda Accord parked right behind me. And, I mean, I throw that thing in reverse and just
crank it.
I mean, I just ruined that Honda. And so I'm like, oh. So, anyway, I had a big steel bumper on that and a spare tire rack and all that on the back of that 4Runner. Didn't do really anything to mine, but it tore up hers. So I called my father-in-law. He doesn't answer. I leave a message. Please call me back. We need to talk. So he calls me back. I say, I'm sorry, sir. I hit your daughter's car. Here's my insurance, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, good. And the whole time I'm really worried.
Oh, of course. You're sweating this thing.
I'm sweating this. Like, I want this guy to like me.
Uh-huh. He probably never will.
And so he goes, oh, good. I thought you were asking to get married. and me and Sarah had already started talking about that. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, well, that's coming, buddy. That's coming.
Yeah. It's just going to make that question even more awkward.
So heads up, you know, if you are that father, one day me and you both will be that guy that some man's going to come and ask for our daughter in marriage. Yeah, I hope so.
I hope they have the courage and the gumption and the respect to ask. A lot of men are not asking today.
I know. I'm going to, demand it, honestly.
Yeah. We're going to have at least the talk.
Yeah.
But we'll probably be better than that. We'll probably have a good relationship with whoever they're dating, so we'll know when the time comes.
I hope so. But I see myself being boneheaded enough to rock the boat.
Yeah.
But if they don't say, come to me and talk, I'm coming to them to talk. Anyway. So
we're going to have that conversation. But all back to, you had all this money.
Mm-hmm.
And you were just thinking about what you're going to spend it on. But you had to buy back to school stuff.
Yeah. And that seems to kind of be the way in the time period of stage of life that I'm in, is that, you know, it's about family.
Yeah.
And I think for us guys, it's just like, oh, and I get a lot of cool stuff for myself. And I don't want to act like I'm a Mother Teresa over here just, like
Giving
suffering.
giving it all away.
Anybody who knows me just realize, oh, man, you got it pretty easy.
Yeah,
But it's easy
when your job goes for beer money and school supplies, you've got it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to downplay the barbershop, baby.
No, man.
I'm just saying that's your cheese money.
It's a milk cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck off the teat whenever you need it.
But all men do that. We talked about in the past about having side jobs.
Yeah.
What can you do?
A little hustle.
Mm-hmm. And so, you start thinking, oh, man, I just mowed some yards. Got some cash. I'm going to get some hunting gear.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So, did you have to buy new backpacks and clothes? I mean, what is it? When you say you had to spend a lot of money, what were you buying?
Well, my in-laws helped with some. They're like all the glues and the glue sticks and the crayons and like a supplies list.
Okay.
But we had backpacks, new blue jeans, new sneakers.
It's the clothes that get you.
Haircuts cost a lot.
You should send them my way. I'll give them a haircut for free.
Yeah. Your boys cry, though.
High and tight.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's that thing. And then another real rough thing that I had to do today is my kids needed allergy shots. And, a lot of people have to go get shots for back to school, those who vaccinate. And
that's not me.
You don't vaccinate.
No.
I believe in vaccination.
I don't.
But half my buddies don't. Why not? Why don't you believe in science?
We're going to go the vaccination tour.
We got to, man, because it is a funny debate.
Your boy Trump don't like vaccinations.
No, he doesn't. No.
Remember what he said to that?
Yeah, but it turned him orange. I mean, if I had his skin issues, they gave him too much of that beta carotene or whatever it makes you orange.
He is pretty orange.
Yeah.
He's like not. He could fit into The Simpsons without actually being in a cartoon character form.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shrink him, he'd be an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they had the hair that was like a wavy.
Right, I never thought about that.
And all that.
And a giant Oompa Loompa.
That's what he really is.
Yeah.
But, he got a spray tan or something because, like I've been watching him on the news. I don't know what he does, really, but his eye sockets and like where his glasses are.
They're pale white.
They're pale white. And then I've seen him like when he talks with his hands. And so you see him move his hands and his long sleeves will slide up. And like you see like a real white wrist.
Really?
Sometimes.
It's weird.
It's like
someone on his staff should tell him, you look awful.
Yeah. But that just goes to show you looks don't really matter in presidency.
Looks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You think if we would have had, and we did have somewhat, who was the most handsome person you've seen run for president?
Well, I think JFK was probably the most attractive president, right? That most people would recognize as pretty attractive. It didn't help that he had a probably harem of women that he was, chilling with on the side.
I mean, hanging out with Marilyn Monroe doesn't normally make you cool.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I mean, that was a really bad thing to do.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I only dream. I mean, I only wish.
Stop. So he's probably the most.
I think so.
But
you think if we would have had like a good-looking person, male or female, because Hillary wasn't.
Well, because Rubio, a lot of the women were like, "Oh, Rubio."
Yeah, I thought he was kind of.
He's an attractive man.
Yeah, he was.
As far as men go.
Yeah, I mean,
gigantic ears though.
Yeah, I didn't like
Dumbo
where
ears.
his part was. His part was like 1 inch above his ear. Like
if he could flap those ears, he could take off.
Yeah, Ted Cruz, he had like this weird goofiness, like grin, like I'm this awkward boy in your 6th grade class. Hi.
A better candidate you couldn't ask for, but certainly not an overly attractive man.
Yeah, Ben Carson just looked like a sleepy hound dog.
He did.
He's
always
and he was
sleepy.
real slow. He's like, and he talked real slow.
But he was your real guy.
That's who I really wanted. I love Ben Carson. I hope he runs again.
Yeah.
So,
but back to vaccinations.
Yeah.
You were getting your boys some shots.
Yeah. So another tough thing we had to do was shots, and
But you weren't doing vaccinations. You were doing allergies.
Allergy shots, because my kids, like, their nose runs like a fire hydrant. And we've, for years, just been giving them stuff. And we think, okay, we really need to think about trying to take care of this allergy stuff where we don't ruin their liver with antihistamines and over-the-counter drugs for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can give them, now they got these drops that, they have minute allergens or whatever you want to call them. And then you put them on their tongue, and it slowly makes their body accept, cat dander or whatever.
Interesting.
And
you could get rid of the cat.
Yeah, but we have rats, so big rats, so we can't get rid of the cats.
You know what my 12-year-old told me yesterday? Or he told his mom he can breathe through his nose for the first time in his entire life. Because he's always had allergies.
Yeah.
But we don't do anything for it.
You just let him live through it.
You got to talk about science. This is, only it was a survival of the fittest.
That's what my parents did. So I don't have allergies. I remember being a little kid, real stuffy.
Yeah. Well, that's the way they are. Most of our, actually.
And there's seasons I have it now, but it's just a season, like a week or two.
It's just kind of funny, though, because we were thinking about...
You're thinking, this goes back to your vaccination. Don't do anything.
Because you're worried about destroying the liver. And
yeah.
I mean, it's a real concern when you talk about getting allergy medicine and over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, you start taking Benadryl every day for the rest of your life, or Sudafed, or...
Could cause some serious trouble.
Mm-hmm. And Horner people are short, so I don't want to stunt the growth. That's my main concern.
Your wife is tall.
Yeah.
How tall is your wife?
She's medium for a woman.
Like 5'6", 5'7",
yeah.
probably?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her steel-toe boots on, she's 5'8".
Ooh, now we're talking.
Uh-huh. Little hard hat kind of comes really tall, when she puts the hard hat on.
Yeah, because there's a big gap there.
Yep.
So he had to get how many shots for the
52
allergies?
shots in the arm.
52?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to do that. They
actually numbered it. Like they took a Sharpie, and wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, of course, like 1 is like oak moss, and like 2 is like, ragweed, and 3, next to the number.
And this will prevent him from being allergic to them?
So they prick him with whatever allergies, and then it creates whelps. The bigger the whelp, the more allergic you are. Some things he didn't even whelp up on.
Okay. It's kind of cruel.
Yeah, it is. And I knew there was going to be a lot of shots going into it. But I thought, well, this would really narrow down. We would know then.
Oh, so the point is to figure out what he's allergic to the most.
Yeah, so then we can try to
treat
isolate that. Okay. We have 4 outside barn cats. Both boys will just grab them like purses or bags and just carry them everywhere. Mm-hmm. They'll put them in a wagon or on the golf.
Are they living?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then when they don't, though, we make a coonskin cat hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gut them and just slap their skin right on top.
Or a little muff for the hands in the wintertime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nothing like a kitten muff. Yeah.
Kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens.
We should patent that.
Yeah.
Kitten mittens. Like your brother sells rabbits.
Yeah.
Those kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens. So this, this lets us know. So we always thought, well, it seems like when he's around cats, he's going to get a runny nose.
Right. Well,
he's majorly allergic to cats.
Okay, so it's like arm fell off when they shocked him with it.
Yeah, a big old thing. And then, and then ragweed and molds and mildews.
Of course, most people are allergic to molds and mildews, right?
Yeah. And we live in a house with central heat and air, so that's not really, you normally don't have mold and mildew with central heat and air.
Yeah.
Because that dehydrates the house.
Yeah.
And then we do live out in the woods. There's a lot of trees around our house.
Right.
I don't know if that helps. But we do live in a dry environment, not like near the coast or high humidity.
Yeah.
So I don't think mold and mildew, I think it's just, he was allergic to cows and cats.
They tested him for cows?
Mm-hmm. And dogs and, other stuff. Cockroaches.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I saw that one was like cockroaches.
So they're just putting a shot in him.
Yeah.
And numbering it.
How
was he taking it?
First 3 was like, you can do this. And first 2, I'm like, all right. He just looks at me. Eyes start filling up with tears. I grab his hands together so he won't move his arms. They're giving it to him in his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And And then he starts crying. I go, man, you're tough. You can do this. This don't take no time. 52 takes a while.
3 hours later.
Yeah, like he starts boohooing.
We're halfway done.
I think we're all like 10 or 12. I'm like, hey, if you just get through this, we'll get a toy. I went from be a tough Navy SEAL to
bribery.
About 30, I'm into like, I can't do this. He's yelling at me. I can't do this anymore. I'm kind of having to body hold him.
Uh-huh.
The whole time his little brother's sitting out in the hall hearing this, but the door's shut, but it's muffled. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he gets to squirming more. I had to hold him down more. I had to eventually hold his head and all that. And then I'm like, I get aggravated. I'm like, you better quit this or you're going to get in trouble, blah, 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 blah. I think I threatened to whip him.
So it went from bribery to punishment.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like
all motivators.
I'm the only man there, and there's all these girls there, and they're like, "Oh, he's kind of." I felt like people were looking at me like, "Man, what a hard ass."
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what to do in a situation like that. You got to do this. We're doing this.
Right.
It's not a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a choice, but we're not going to make it a choice.
Right.
I mean, you don't let a 7-year-old choose stuff like that.
That's for sure.
So,
would you like to get a shot or would you like to not?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with option 2.
Yeah. So that was kind of tough.
That is tough.
And we have that as dads, with kids.
Did you end up spanking him?
No.
So
after
bluff.
I looked at it, I'm thinking this would be tough for a lot of people. Like I know people who refuse to get this done, this type of testing done, because they knew that the psychological pain. And I think a lot of it is psychological. I'm not afraid of shots. I've given blood and lots of shots. I've never had 52 at once, but just the constant pricking and the needle coming to your skin, I think that psychs people out.
Yeah, it would psych me out. So both your boys got it done?
So the younger one comes in next, and he's smart, but he comes in, he's like, no, and he gets his back to the door, and we're trying to talk him into it. It's not that bad, and Charlie's already kind of calmed down. He knows now he's going to go get a really badass Nerf gun at Walmart. And he's like, Charlie's telling Eli, it's not that bad. And of course, his eyes are all red. You can tell he's been cried.
His arm is in a sling.
Yeah, they did. His arm was bleeding pretty good, so they put like little gauze on it and stuff. And even a 4-year-old could realize, y'all are lying.
You guys are all lying.
You lying sons of a gun, whatever. And so he grabs that doorknob and bolts.
Oh, my goodness.
Makes it all the way to the front door of the clinic.
Oh, wow.
I finally catch him.
Oh,
okay, so now we're in the lobby. Everybody's kind of giggling at first because they could hear the pitter-patter of the feet, like this guy, and I'm yelling after him, get back here, And I catch him at the doors that go out to the parking lot.
Screaming
and I
help.
Grab him. Well, I bear hug him and to get him back to the room, and he's kicking me in the crotch and all this stuff, because I'm hugging him, his legs are flinging, and so we get back there, and then we try to hold him down, and eventually I have to draw some blood. And man, it was like I crossed my legs over his legs so he couldn't kick me no more. Took my whole arm, wrapped him around him, extended his other arm, and then took my fingers and like gripped his jaw so he couldn't turn his head.
Jiminy.
And he screamed and screamed and screamed, and they drew two vials of blood, and they were going to use his blood to test. They were going to do a different method because he was going too nuts.
Yikes.
It was tough.
That is tough. That all happened yesterday?
This morning. On the way over
morning. It's very fresh.
Very fresh. And it makes me realize we got to do this as parents.
Have you healed from getting kicked in the groin yet?
We have to, strangle and hold our kids down or whatever you want to call it.
The story would have been better if you would have, tackled him in the lobby into, a display or something, and it would have, spilled everywhere.
Oh, I know. Yeah, well, the things, I remember this little gray-headed lady, and she had a blue blouse on, and she was just laughing, seeing the boy run. Then she saw me grab him, and her eyes got big, like, that's not funny. You should grab that boy like that. And then you looked
over and, way to help out, Grandma.
Yeah, you could have stuck that walker out and tripped his ass. Couldn't bribe him with candy.
Grab somebody's cane and just start
there's
beating
times
him
you got to
with
make your kids do stuff, and all the bribery in the world.
Oh, man.
They weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
And you got to force your kids to, walk through something.
So, and that brings up a topic at the dinner table. Have you ever had it where your kids don't want to eat something?
Uh-huh.
So, I've, had that experience a lot. And when I was a kid, they always wanted me to eat things. And I would literally gag. to try and choke it down. Have you ever gagged trying to choke food down?
Yeah.
So is that reasonable for parents to do that?
Oh, they got to. Because now I do like foods that I would have gagged on, like beets. I like beets now. I remember my parents making me eat beets.
For I don't know what it was for me. It was like broccoli and spinach for me.
Yeah. I got onto those quick, but I think your palate does change as you get older, but you got to have those experiences.
Yeah. So,
and another thing is, here's the real reality is they got to eat it because we provided it for them, in my opinion. We can't just be like McDonald's and just make whatever they want whenever they want it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it seems like for simple things like peppers, like a red pepper, a green pepper, one of my boys won't eat green peppers or red peppers. And so the other night I told him, you're going to eat these peppers because there's only a couple. Mm-hmm. And he was, gagging them down. And I was just thinking back to my childhood, I hated my parents when they did this to me, but it just seems reasonable that you should have to go through it too.
I bought these, damn it, you're going to eat these peppers.
The whole time I was like, could this be labeled as torture? Does the CIA use these?
For wussy parents, yeah, I think so. But, do you look at your parents and thinking, yeah, that's how you screwed me up, making me eat my food? No, you don't do that.
I look at severe psychological damage.
Actually, I look back at it thinking, they were doing me a favor. I just didn't know it.
Sometimes it's hard to justify.
Yeah. It's hard in the moment. It's like if you believe in vaccinating your kids and getting them shots, and a lot of times people having to take 2 or 3 kids to get it all done because you don't want to make 2 or 3 separate appointments with one kid at a time. You're thinking, that's what me and Sarah were thinking today, whether it was right or wrong. We're taking both of them. We're knocking this out in one morning.
Right.
The problem is you might get the first one through, but the second and the third kid, they're going to know what's coming up.
Yeah. And so Sarah was there?
Yeah.
What was she doing?
She was calming the other one down in the lobby. Yeah.
So what did she think when she saw you running through the lobby after? It was after Eli, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was laughing. She goes, she thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
That's funny. So. Yeah, sometimes we have to force our kids to do things. You know, it's.
How about work though? Have you ever worked somewhere where you're like, you're gonna do this, or you're fired? And that's reasonable. You can't be like, do this, horrible act, go kill this person, or you're gonna get fired. Not like that, but like,
right.
You're gonna clean these toilets, or you're gonna get fired. You're gonna.
So I guess I just never thought that it was an option to question a boss or superior.
Yeah, and where does that mindset come from? Eating vegetables, like.
Yeah. This is you sign up for a job, you just think, well, I've got to do the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are things that I've had difficult times with, but that's because I felt like they were unfair or unreasonable, not necessarily because I just didn't want to. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that happens in life.
Yeah.
Have you ever spanked your kids because they didn't want to? I just remember my sister would sit at the dinner table, and my mom and stepdad's rule was you had to sit at the dinner table until you finished dinner. And she would sit there for what seemed like hours, just crying and moping and just avoiding, and she was so stubborn.
Yeah. I remember stuff like that, like Mom cooked turnips.
Ooh.
We were going to eat them. And, it was always a meat, a vegetable, and a bread, the basic.
Sure.
And so, but Mom wasn't going to cook a special vegetable just for me. She was going to cook a vegetable, and I look back with how the money they had to raise a family, which is a lot less than what me and Sarah have. And I can't believe I was being picky.
Yeah.
Like they were working hard just to put food on the table. Here I am scoffing at the turnips.
And that's the thing. The kids don't have a real sense of value that, and that's one of the reasons why being raised on a farm, you do get a sense that, hey, this meat that I'm eating belonged to something that lived, and the
just
food
raising a garden too. The effort of growing a tomato. It's not just picking it up, putting it in your grocery cart. Somebody had to plant it, water it, keep the bugs off.
So we're disconnected from that. in a big way America is. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I've cut so many little boys' hair who hated haircuts, at 4, 2 years old, somewhere around there. They start coming around. But those first few haircuts are just like those boys getting shots. Mm-hmm. They're just screaming and kicking and spitting and, because they're blubbering and snot.
Right, yeah.
And you got a noisy clipper that's buzzing, tickling their neck, maybe pulling some hair because when you turn your head quickly away from a clipper, you're going to get your hair pulled.
It's going to grab on.
and so, I just think, and then I've never felt, though, like there's been those parents who just manhandle those kids. They put those kids in a head hold where you can cut that hair safely so you don't stab them in the eye or clip their ear. And I never think, oh, you're being mean. I'm thinking, no, you're protecting this kid from getting hurt. And the same thing, I was holding those boys still so the needle don't break off into their arm. But the people I do kind of lose respect for, I've had a few people, I'm halfway through a haircut, the kid's just bawling, and he's not liking it. And he's young. They make me quit, and they leave with the kid with a half haircut. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, wimp.
You got to have some follow through there.
Got to follow through.
Some stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
And we all go through difficult things in life, and if a haircut's the first thing, then it's a good training opportunity. Not everything's peaches and cream. Hey, speaking of back to school.
Yeah.
So we took a family day yesterday.
Yeah.
Instead of because they have the back to school bash here in town. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good time generally, but we had this timeshare offer.
Oh yeah.
Where you go tour the facility. Mm-hmm. So we went down to Brownwood.
You get to go get something like some fancy object. Normally it's a big screen TV.
Yeah, it wasn't that good, but they gave us a couple free items at this booth, or they told us that we could get them if we do the tour. So our appointment's at 10, so we get down there, and we went to the wrong place. There's a golf course there too, so we went to the wrong place first, and by the time we get in there, it's like 10:20, and we're last to sign up, and there's a whole room full of people, because they've been scheduling people. And we had done some rebooking ourselves, and so they just told us, "Hey, we'll be with you in a little bit." So in about 30 minutes, they came out and said, "Hey, we're really sorry, but we don't have enough salespeople to take you guys on this tour. But we can't give you your free stuff until you wait here a complete hour. So you can just hang out, or you can go check out the swimming pool and this and that." And we were going to use the facility all day. That was the other thing we got.
Oh yeah.
So we get the free items, but then you could use the golf course. You could swim.
How nice was the golf course?
It was decent. I mean, it wasn't like the most amazing golf course ever, but it was nice.
Yeah,
for sure, and for this area.
So you're gonna go do the golf course, and so no high pressure sales.
No, so we got all the stuff for free.
So you had the easiest timeshare. It was a timeshare thing you were going to.
Yes, yeah.
And they were going to try to get you to buy into some, and you had the easiest one ever. Because I've been in Sunday school classes, or friends of mine who went and did these. Half of them fold. They just end up committing, buying something.
Yeah, I've been to several timeshares, and one of them we tried to get it, and thankfully, our credit was not good enough.
That's the way, Listen, here's the trick. If you're listening and you have horrible, bad credit, like you can't finance a washing machine or anything.
Right.
Go have yourself, don't beat yourself up. Take advantage. Go to sign up for every timeshare thing you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
If they're going to deny you, you're going to just have a lot of fun.
We were in Branson a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we went to this restaurant which has an IMAX theater in it. It's a real nice place, and there was a booth there, and in Branson there's Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah,
they're heavy there, and they're always, every place you go is basically they're wanting you to sign up for timeshare. This guy offered us $200 in gift certificates, just like a prepaid credit card, to go to one of his timeshare things, and I would have done it because I can say no for $200.
Yeah.
But I tried to get him up to 300, and he wouldn't budge. But I had something to do that next morning, so I would have really rearranged my schedule.
You're negotiating a better deal.
And what's funny is he had this scratch pad that he was writing all these numbers on for all these other people, and I saw 300, And I said, I know you've done 300 because I can see that you've written 300 down on this paper. And he scratched through that. He's like, no, I didn't do that. And I was like, yes, you did. Got him to 250.
Oh.
But he would not do 300. And I wasn't budging.
Yeah.
So I told him no.
Yeah.
And that's hard enough when you get these recruiters and they're trying to talk to you about coming to see their place. You know.
I kind of just want to stick cameras on you and have you go into these things to see how hardcore you are.
Dude, I prep my family.
You're like Ron Swanson.
I prep my family yesterday.
So how do you prep a family for a timeshare?
So I said this. Okay. I said, we're in the car. I said, look, we got to go on this tour. And they've offered this. I mean, from the get-go, I told the guy, look, I don't mind taking your free stuff, but I'm going to say no. So if, I'm just letting you know, if I just want to be honest with you, I'm going to get the free stuff because you're offering it to me, but I'm going to say no. He was like, don't worry about it. At least the worst thing that could happen is you could like the facility, maybe tell a friend about it or something at some point. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I'll be your advertisement or whatever. So I had told them ahead. So I feel consciously, I feel guilt-free because I've already told them up front I'm not buying. So anyway, on the way down, I told the kids, we got to do this thing for 90 minutes. And I said, here's the rules. Don't ask questions because we ain't buying, and don't waste our time. So don't ask them any questions because, man, sometimes you get these kids, if you're like house shopping or car shopping, they're like riddling the salespeople with questions. What does it do this? Or this is they walk in, this is my room.
I've taken my kids to car shopping and house shopping. It's that way. They just start dreaming about what they could have.
Yeah, and so that's the first thing. Don't ask any questions. Don't say anything. And then I love my wife. But she does like to have all the information. So even if we know there's never going to be a chance, she wants to see.
She's the hiccup in the deal because like the salesman's like, oh, I'll get hurt.
Yeah,
and he'll have to come.
But
he'll have to say yes.
She'll say, oh, it's not my decision. It's Keith's decision after making all these questions.
That's just like a hook. Like, oh. Yeah. Anyway.
So, I've pretty much set everybody in the place, let them know what they're supposed to be doing, and then we didn't end up taking the tour.
I'm kind of shocked that they can still sell timeshares.
Dude, they do. I mean, you talk about...
because who wants to go to the same place every year for a week?
They're doing them now, though. See, timeshares nowadays are, we have all of these different resorts that we're teamed up with also. And even at the one we were at, you got a member price. You're not even getting it for free from now on. You're just getting a membership price, which means you've got to go there so often just to justify it. And so that's how they do it. They branch out because Bass Pro Shops owns tons of places.
No,
and so when you're doing like the sandals or whatever those, I don't know.
Yeah,
you're getting a whole bunch of
300
locations. Yeah, you can go anywhere in the United States, the Caribbean islands, and that's what really sells people on it was. But man, the truth is, you never end up going. It's just my experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds great and all, but...
I wonder how much to be members of these things. I mean, if it's thousands and thousands of dollars, just take the money and go do a vacation.
Right. That's the point.
But if there's maintenance fees and membership fees that are due annually, then
That's crazy. But a lot of people do timeshares.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there when the guy came in and said, he had sold a lot. And I told him, congratulations,
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool place.
It's a good place to hone your salesman ability.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to lose your soul and sell timeshares. No, not really. But really.
Anyway, so that's what we did for our back-to-school family day.
Yeah. Well, it's back to school. So with that, go get a haircut, get those kids fed, and drop them off, and smile, because now it's our summer.
For the next 9 months? I don't think so.
Parents enjoy the winter because we get to send them away. So.
Yeah. Well, you've heard it here, folks.
Yep.
All the BS.
Yep.
S.
Sometimes extra S. Next time.
Next time.